All right, so this session we're going to do a glute focused activation just using your small loop band. So we're going to start by lying down on our backs and we're just going to pop this band just above the top of our knees. So coming all the way down, just bringing those heels right up underneath the crease of the knee and just finding a nice neutral spine here. So we want our feet to stay in line with our hips and also our knees. So there should be a slight amount of tension on the band throughout the whole sequence here. So on your next exhale, you're going to slightly tuck that tailbone under, ribs drawing down towards the hips, engaging all of the core, and release. So we can do it a couple of times, this movement, just to wake up the body and start creating the correct brain to muscle patterns. And then on your next one, we're going to continue rolling that tailbone under, curling all the way up until we're pressing into our glute bridge. Then from here, lengthening all the way down from the armpits. Good. So inhale to prepare, exhale, starting with the tailbone, curling all the way under. Good, sit bones reaching down towards the back of the knee, a slight internal rotation at the knee, coming up onto our shoulders, and then from our armpits, drawing all the way down, elongating that spine. Last thing to unroll is the tailbone. Just moving through this one a few times, focusing on the breath, nice slow and controlled movements. See if you can articulate each vertebrae of the spine as you come all the way down. Good, and you should start to feel the back of the legs waking up here, a slight little warmth. Keep pressing those knees slightly out to the side. So we're waking up our glute med. This muscle is really important to protect our knees from our valgus angles in our surf stance. It also helps support the lower back, particularly for all of those extended paddling sessions. Nice. We're going to go for two more like this, just rolling through the body, trying to maintain both the level hip bones. Good. Last one, squeezing at the top and slowly rolling all the way back down. All right, so starting with our slight little tuck now, drawing those ribs down towards our hips. And then we're just going to be holding this nice position of our pelvis and our torso throughout these movements. This is really important for our glute bridge as it's going to stop us from loading through that lumbar back or lower back, which we get enough of from our hyperextension in our prone paddling position. So from here, we're just going to, driving through the heels, we're going to push all the way up into our glute bridge and then coming all the way down. So maintaining that slight resistance on the band. Good. That's it. So keep breathing through these, using our exhale through that most challenging part of the movement. So usually pressing as we exhale, inhaling as we lower or as we prepare. Good, and starting to feel those outside portion of our glutes really waking up now. We're going to go for three more here like this. And then we're going to add in a pulse of the knees at the top. So last one. Good. So now when we lift, we're going to hold for a second at the top. We're going to press the knees out wide, back to our neutral, and then coming all the way back down. So we press up, we press the knees out, come back in, and lower. Good. So really try with this as the knees press, not to pulse or not to make the movement too jerky. We really want to pretend like we're moving through honey or something thick, and we're controlling the movement both out and in, really creating the most time under tension for that muscle, waking up all those slow twitch muscle fibers. Helpful for all of our endurance. Nice. We're going to go for 5 more like this. 4, 3, 2, last one, holding at the top after this. Now we're just going to go out and in with the knees, so keeping those hips nice and high. Keep drawing that pubis bone down towards your belly button. Keep drawing those sit bones towards the back of the knees. Just going out and in against that band. We're going to go for 10. Keep those hips high. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding at the top. Little lower, little lift with those hips. Pulsing it out. So we're just going down an inch and up an inch. So this movement is just coming from the contraction and release of those larger glute muscles. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7. Good. Breathing through that burn. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. Coming all the way down. Lovely. So should feel really nice and warm through the glutes there. We're going to take that band off and then just come all the way up to a standing position. So you can, depending on how hard you want the movement to be here, you can have the band just below the knees, above or down towards the ankles. I'm going to go just below my knees as I want to still be able to focus on that adduction. So we're just going to find a nice little quarter squat here. So with this position, we want to try and avoid dumping into the lower back here. So again, thinking about that pubis bone coming towards the belly button and then drawing those hips down towards, drawing our ribs down towards our hips. So you can see now this nice flat line of my back. So we're going to be holding this position through the entire sequence, standing sequence. So from here, we're just going to lead out and in. So really trying to lead from this front hip to the end of the mat and then walking back the other way. So as much as you can, trying not to swing through the shoulders. It's a step out and in, trying to keep this all nice and level. Keep thinking about this core position. As when we fatigue, this is the first thing that wants to go. Beautiful, keep breathing. We're just going to keep going back and forth until we start to get a really nice burn. So this is a great warm-up for any kind of lower body session or pre-surf. Good. Last one. Good. Now when we come to the end of the mat, we're going to squat down. Then we're going to just bring one leg out and pulse. Walk to the other end of the mat. Squat down, pulse. So leading from this front hip. Again here, then back the other way. Good. You should really start to be burning right now. Beautiful. We're going to go for one more each way. Nice. Whew. All right. So, again, I'm just going to move this down a little bit for this one. And we're focusing again on our balance, but also on our abdominal position. So, finding our balance here, we're just going to bring one leg slightly back on an angle. And then we're just going to lift and lower this leg. So holding this, it's not about how high we can get the leg. We're working this standing left glute at the moment. Just lifting and lowering. So I like to kind of either have my hands on my back like this just to give me a little bit of feedback as to whether I'm losing this position. You can feel the lower back arching. Just reduce your range a little bit. We're going to go for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, coming all the way up. So again, on the other side. So squatting down, finding this position, transferring your weight onto that right leg. Left leg's going to come back, and we're just going to lift and lower on that 45-degree angle. The goal of this standing leg is to keep the knee over the second toe, so we don't want this to happen. We want to use this outside part of our glute to keep that knee alignment. We're going to go for 5 more. 2. Last one. Coming all the way back to standing. Beautiful. So that's just a really quick little glute activation that you can do. Walking back and forth as many times as you'd like, but the whole time really focusing on this position of the torso and the lower back lumbar area.